Hey everybody, welcome to the community call, the Rarible DAO community call on June 3rd, 2021. So I'm just going to share my screen and share the agenda for the day. We're going to start with the dessert. I thought we could start with the fun stuff. And actually, there's some dessert later on, but some team updates, some cool team updates, really exciting stuff coming out with Picnic, CocoNFT, and DAO House has an update to give as well. So we'll start with that. We'll run through some interesting news in the NFT space with Mark. I thought it'd be a cool addition to just run through news and things that are going on in the space that might be relevant. Product updates from Alex, proposal updates, so things that have been posted in Snapshot, and then we're going to move into breakout rooms if we have time. Hopefully we have time to discuss that and have some more intimate conversations. So we have 3 projects. Do you want to go first, Gia? Or maybe CocoNFT? Reed? Oh.
Sure. Yeah, happy to go.
Oh, wait, sorry. So you unmute yourself. Okay, yeah, go for it, Reed. We can start with you.
Okay, sorry. Cool. So yeah, hey everybody. Reed here from the CocoNFT team. Oh, can you enable screen sharing? Oh, is it going to steal the host control from you if I do this? Or the co-host. Okay,
that's try it now.
All right, continue. All right, can you all see my little app recording screen here? See thumbs up, thank you. Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and just to give context, CocoNFT got a grant from Rarible DAO a while back, so they're giving an update. That's kind of the context for CocoNFT.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, so okay, we're a Rarible DAO funded project. Our focus is on making it like really easy and seamless for creators, particularly those coming from like the non-crypto familiar space who are leveraging, Instagram today to be able to get started in NFTs by lazy minting their posts through the new Rarible protocol. And then getting like profile links on CocoNFT so that they can link out in their Instagram profiles through, whether they're using like Yat or Linktree or anything like that, so people can purchase them and they, there's a lower risk and barrier-free way to get started. So where we're at, oops, wrong mouse. Where we're at right now is essentially we're doing pretty well. We have everything. We're doing a mobile web. We want it to work within Instagram. We're hoping to launch in a closed beta to everyone that signed up so far next week. That's obviously pending Rarible's protocol supporting lazy minting to be on mainnet by then, or at least a bit before then, so we can do some testing. So yeah, so I'm gonna show a little demo that I made this morning. Oh no, 1 second, it has sound. All right. And so, yeah, we're using one of the things, oh, that went way too fast. So yeah, one of the things we're doing is we're using Taurus as a kind of login mechanism. You know what? I think I'm showing the wrong video. I'm sorry, everybody. Give me 1 second. You know what? This should be fine. Let me just double check. Yeah, sorry about this, but that's okay. So anyway, we're using Taurus as the authentication method. One of the reasons for this, we will also be supporting MetaMask, which is the thing you're not seeing here. I just realized I took yesterday's video instead of today's video. We will be using MetaMask as well for people who already have wallets, but for people who don't have wallets, there's the wallet provider Taurus, which Rarible also uses, allows people to create wallets just by signing up through a social sign up, things like Facebook. And given we're targeting Instagram users, they likely have Facebook. So making that like wallet creation incredibly easy and simple to get started. They can use Taurus to do that. In this flow, I already have my little Taurus account, so it's kind of just asking me to sign in. One of the nice things is they have like Face ID, which is nice. then we've built our workflow to make things like really clear to the user and simple on like, what are we doing? How does this work? Is our hope here. And so you're just doing your standard Instagram authentication, nothing too fancy there, asking you to, sign in through Instagram. And then at the next stage here, we're asking users to actually tell them, hey, in this next step, you're going to select the posts that you want to make available as NFTs. We heard from a lot of creators in like their early stages that they didn't want to make every post available because they had some from like their family or their children or things that they didn't want to sell as NFTs, which makes sense. And so then we surface that to the creator, allow them to choose the starting price. In the future, we'll also allow them to do like additions on 1155s. We're just starting really simple for the closed beta. So it'll be, allowing them to do the set price, starting price. Once it does that, depending on what wallet you're using, so if you're using Taurus, it kind of has that little toast at the top that you then approve. And then once there, it'll, and this is where I realized I have the wrong one. It'll go to your profile page is where it should go. And your profile page just kind of looks like this. It's will be a lot more cleaned up than this when it's live. But essentially from here, buyers can actually like choose one of your posts. It'll link to them on Instagram, so they can always see who you are on Instagram, making sure that they're buying the NFT from the person they think they are. And then check out, whether through, I think we'll once again be supporting MetaMask to start on the wallet side. So allowing them to do that. And everything that happened here is using Rarible's lazy minting protocol. So the actual creator doesn't go through like a gas fee to initially make these posts available. But obviously the buyer would to convert this then into a live NFT. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. We do have our Discord set up where we're like asking a lot of questions from the community. I've posted as well quite a bit of updates, and I think Rarible's DAO discussions channel as well as where we've been chatting. So yeah, happy to have you all there, answer any questions. Yeah, that's about it.
One small question from my side. Yeah, and I would double down on the message from the chat. It's really cool. So the scope is very limited. You're really doing one thing at your best. So that's so cool. For the Taurus wallet, so they have like two versions of the login. The first one is just login with your social. And the second is login with your social and then add an extra key to the device that you logged in with just now.
Yep.
And the second one appears to be confusing for some people. That's what we found.
Yes.
You can actually turn that off.
I was just about to say, we just learned from the Taurus team, we can limit it to just the social ones. Yeah. Yep. The Taurus team has actually been really great to work with. We had a meeting with them 2 nights ago, just in making a lot of that a bit better. And like the toast that you saw, which is a little like thing that pops down asking you to confirm your transaction. We're also working on like customizing that flow as well in Taurus, because sometimes it can be out of the user's field of view, which has also caused some confusion. So yeah, Taurus has been really cool to work with on that side. So hopefully it makes it easy. Yeah.
Great stuff. Thanks for the update, Reed. Really awesome. Looking forward to testing it out myself.
Thanks.
All right, next up, Jiashan with Picnic.
Thanks. Can I share my screen?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Hey, Natalie, Mark, Eric, everyone. Vando, I think I talked to you a while back. It's good to see you again. Okay, so I can share my screen. So for Picnic, we decided to focus on group shows and events. And so you guys haven't heard from me for a bit, and it was just us going through the process of testing and checking out what are the features we are building. We're still making a lot of updates right now. So as a test, we did a NFT show and tell last week. That was like a pretty small event. Like Natalie and Mark showed up for a little bit. Eric showed up for a little bit. And was, oh, I think the GIF takes a little, the GIF image is like really big. So sometimes it takes a little bit of time. But basically everybody can bring their NFTs. They sign in with their wallet. And then they can add their own comments on their NFT. These were Eric's NFTs that he brought. And then also after the event, you can add an audio clip. This was Natalie's.
I guess I'll start with like my Genesis.
So this was recording from the event. And we found that like during the actual event is in CryptoVoxel, just to kind of backtrack for a second. Oh, there it goes. It was in an artist, this really cool artist, Sparrow's CryptoVoxel space. So after the event, all the artwork is taken off of the wall, but it was right here. And just through this process, we learned a lot about specifically throwing an event in the metaverse and all the challenges, like whether it's audio or hangout work. And so you can browse all the NFTs that everybody brought to the event. And you can go to any one of them to see more information. This is all the on-chain information. These are ones that Greg from Picnic brought. These were MetaGuides. And also after the event, basically all the participants and later on attendees can add to the log. So you can add like review to the event. This was just for right now, it's just from the host, which was me. So these were all the projects that we discussed during the NFT show and tell. If you want to check it out, there's a lot of really cool things that I didn't really know about before. Different tools that people are using for creating their NFTs. It's kind of like an NFT work in progress for this specific event. We also had a really cool voxel artist who just like last minute made this really great centerpiece that we ended up buying as an NFT. Group photo, these are all things that later on can be minted as an NFT for the participants to get. And since when they sign up, we have their wallet address. So there's no need of finding out like, how do we airdrop anything after the events? The host can basically just like one click and distribute all the tokens afterwards. This was, I'm just gonna play really fast here because Mark's track. Yeah, and by the way, that music is by Mark. I want to like do a shout out here. So yeah, like this was really, really simple. Really the participants were the only ones who signed in via their wallets, but later on we can add ticketing and also for attendees to sign up so that for hosts. And so in a way, the participants here are more like collaborators on the event. I think the vocabulary was a little bit misleading, but anybody else can show up. So this way for all the collaborators, hosts and co-hosts, they will be able to kind of have a list of all the attendees' wallet address, and also being able to track just like any kind of event platform in terms of click rates, open rates. This is another one that we're kind of currently doing for this week. And this is with a nonprofit called the Advocacy Project, where they have quilts that artists from Nepal created. And so I ran this through a machine learning model to generate these digital images and turn them into NFTs. And this event specifically helps with COVID relief in Nepal. So right now, like basically you will mint it on like any platform, and then you can bring your NFTs to the event. Later on, we can also integrate with minting functionality that will allow people to to create their NFTs. So there's really like many different use cases that we have in mind. You can also do a competition. So just like you can do an open invite to anyone to bring their NFTs to the site itself. And as the host, you can kind of like click through and approve, or even later on adding like community voting, so that the approved ones will be the ones that are showcased in the event. We will provide all the exports for the attendee addresses, and also if you want to upload it onto like a metaverse gallery, like an easy way of, well, much easier than right now, currently, a list of all the artwork that can be uploaded onto like CryptoVoxel or the Decentraland or something. Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's
yeah, I was able to attend most of it. It was really amazing. I mean, I think it's a really cool way to start engaging collectors in the community, because I mean, all the people who were at the event who put up their NFTs were all collectors. It was really collector focused as opposed to creator focused, which is was a really cool thing to do, to hear about why people collected certain pieces. And you know, just the environment was really cool, talking about the art. So yeah.
And there were actually 2 sales that happened after the event because while we were talking about it, it just made a really big difference when the owner or the creator is talking about the work, and then you can ask questions, and in this like very immersive experience. I think the more immersive, the better, but if they want to show it on their phone, or if they just want to quickly browse through the catalog, they can also just like go to the site itself. Yeah, and we have a couple more events coming up, just like trying out with different projects. There's a lot of creators that create like a whole collection or like generative art that have like a lot of like a few hundred collectors of one work, especially for generative ones. So those are kind of already, we have the features to build those out where they can just like bring everybody that owns their NFT. And it's a very easy way to like prove that they're the owner as well. And each owner can add their blurb about like, you know, their specific NFT and do an event.
Great. Thanks a lot. Any questions? All right. Great. Thanks for the update. All right. So up next, Isaac with DAO House and the proposal that recently got passed.
Yep. So this is a pretty our phase 1 for the DAO House Rarible Boost project was pretty research heavy. So I'll share the link to the research doc, but a few things that we can talk through. Just a quick reminder on the scope of what we're working on. We're working on a boost to make it so that any DAO on DAO House or any Moloch DAO in general can collect NFTs through using the Rarible Marketplace protocol. So this involves executing buy, sell orders, also improving the rage quit dynamics to deal with non-divisible assets. So making it so DAO members can propose to be bought out at different share prices. Just overall doing everything that we need to do to make it easy for DAOs to actually hold and transact on NFTs. Penguin was working on quite a bit of user research over the last couple of weeks. I don't know if you want to briefly talk about some of the discussions that you had with some folks in the space.
Sure. Hi. So yeah, I reached out to as many of the NFT collecting DAOs as I could. So Plusser DAO, NFT DAO, Flamingo DAO. And many of the people on this call, I reached out to Vandal as part of the I want my NFT access pass email set. And I basically just asked people, are you guys collecting NFTs together with other people? How are you interacting with people with NFTs? What are your use cases? What are the DAOs that you're associated with? And about specifically, I focused on tribute aspects. Like I wanted to figure out which part of our proposal would be the most important to them. And, you know, so we also considered like trading and escrow services And so I think basically the reception was very, very favorable and positive. People were excited, and a lot of people were saying that they were kind of trying to consider a platform that would do this. So having DAO House and Rarible top of mind was great. They're already kind of excited and looking forward to using, Rarible with the DAOs. So I think that was one of the great takeaways from this, is that people were really interested in it, and we're kind of hitting the market at like a perfect time. And it doesn't sound like there's really a solution that people have for it now. So giving them an easy to use solution, and we've been playing with it. So I'll let Isaac talk about some of the experiments with it, but user research has been very positive. And I captured all of the stories and the questions in a type form. So that data is available as part of the user research.
Yep, just shared the link to where we consolidated all the research. Eric, if you give me a screen share, I can just kind of walk people through this. Again, it's a lot of text, so I'll just kind of give the highlights. Sorry, this happened last time too. Zoom moves the pause recording thing right over the share screen button. Yeah, as I said, pretty text heavy, but what we have in here is the user research and the results of the different experiments. So all the different considerations for like, what would it mean to give an NFT as tribute to a DAO and receive shares conditional on your membership proposal passing? What would it mean to calculate a fair buyout price considering the frozen assets that are in an NFT vault that are not rage quittable in a treasury? We've got a whole lot of like some math and spreadsheets in here for you to dig into. Feel free to check my math, make sure it works. A bunch of some considerations for also fractionalization options, because another simple way to handle NFTs as a DAO would be to just kind of liquidate them and put them in the main treasury. But we're going to do more research on that. We think that a lot of DAOs would actually prefer to keep things whole. On the actual Rarible integrations research, we did a ton of documentation on the core level of actually how to integrate with the core Rarible contracts. We've demonstrated fully functional contract-based share, sell, buy orders, and order matching. So I've got links to a bunch of like testnet transactions in here with how that works. All of these docs, I'll do a PR to the main Rarible site because I learned a lot throughout doing this process. So I'll share all of these, this like how to use Rarible stuff as well. So in the first phase, user research, we've like completed all the proofs of concept to show that what we want to do is technically possible with existing tech or minimal additional development effort. And we've also got some Figmas in here to see like what would this actually look like on the DAO House page, where in a DAO we'd have a Rarible bank where you can see what are the assets that are held by this DAO. And with each one of those assets, you can quickly make a proposal like sell, or you could just go to the Rarible marketplace, copy a URL, paste it into your DAO, and it would automatically generate like the buy order proposal for you. So yep, lots of good progress. We're kind of wrapping up phase 1, and phase 2 we'll be moving on to more implementation.
Very cool. That's a lot of research.
Yeah, so lots of text. So please read, and I now feel like I'm a Rarible pro. So ask me questions. I can tell you how to use it.
Amazing.
I have a question. What was the working DAO implementation for submitting orders and purchases?
Yes, so this is pretty exciting. So we might have the first DAO adaptation of EIP 1271 signatures. So for those that don't know, EIP 1271 defines a standard contract interface so that you can use like a smart contract wallet for a sign typed data signature. So normally like MetaMask pops up and you can sign a message hash that contains some data. So what we did is we actually created a contract that has the is valid signature method for EIP 1271. But instead of doing an EC recover to check to see if the signature is valid, it actually checks an associated DAO proposal to see if that proposal has passed. So the DAO votes can actually mark an arbitrary signature as valid, which makes it so that DAOs can actually sign data now, which is pretty cool.
You should write a separate blog post about that as soon as we're live.
Yes, yeah, we'll do.
Yeah, I believe that's really important for all the Gnosis, multisig, and basically anyone with the contract wallet.
Yeah, it's super simple. So that's in there. I'll pull it out. I keep finding more and more things to write blog posts about, but yeah, I'll knock that one out as soon as I can.
Yeah, beautiful. I'd love Rarible DAO is going to start producing blog posts and articles and stuff like that. So would love to. I know Mark and Max are going to be working on doing some comms work. So feel free to collaborate with them and we'll make that nice and pretty for you.
Cool. Sounds good.
All the like non-devs in the room are like, ooh.
Yeah, sorry. It's almost impossible not to be too jargony with it, but it's cool. Especially with EIP numbers, and it's like yeah.
Oh yeah, that EIP.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of one other EIP, 2981. If you check out the EIP's channel, the royalties channel, we've been chatting with some folks from Known Origin and also Lewis and some other folks from Rarible about the royalty standard. So if you want, we can briefly touch on that in a little bit too.
Yeah, actually, I mean, we could jump into that right now.
Sure.
Before the next topic. Although,
yeah, I'll just give a quick update.
If
so
we
we
can
did
keep it super short.
Yes, really short. I researched 3 different standards. So there's 2 different EIPs plus Rarible standard. The 2981 seems to be the most extensible standard, and it's actually pretty close to how Rarible works now. So the plan for the project is to basically see if we can merge those 2 and then get adoption that way. Yeah, check out the channel for more info, but there's another doc with some research on that as well.
What's the channel?
Royalties EIP.
It's inside Builders or Rarible?
Yeah, inside of Builders.
All right. Let's Alex, do you have any product updates on your end?
Yep.
Let's try to keep it quick so we have room for
we're finally starting to roll out our protocol. So the Rarible is already partial in protocol. So it's like 1/3 of the work's done, and the 2/3 of the work is going to be done like really soon. So end of this week or the beginning of next week, depends on how strict are we with our dev team. And yeah, there are some issues on the website right now because of this. We lost some, we had to compromise on some reliability in order to speed up the development. So sorry for that. It should be back up soon. And basically that should bring the major update, like lazy minting to the prod. And with the lazy minting, we are basically integrating all the new contracts, and that means that we have external royalties built in, so you can attach royalties to any existing items that don't have them yet. There was a big ask from the community because a lot of people minted their royalties with their items without royalties, and now they kind of want to receive these royalties, and they can. Some marketplaces have this ability to set up royalties after you minted the token, and that's why we implemented that as well. But we went a little bit further and we created an extra contract that keeps all that data. So this external royalties, origin fees, basically all the features of the protocol should be live soon in Rarible.com. That's cool. Aside from that, the hide and hide is rolling out soon. It's the ability for you to hide the items that were sent to you by some spammers. That's a common problem for the successful droppers on the marketplace. So I'm not sure how many us here experienced. Me, I haven't experienced that problem. I'm not a successful seller. So yeah, those are like small updates. Excited to push through the protocol finally to make sure that all the projects like are working out as well.
And there's also staking under development, right?
Oh yeah, staking. So the staking, today we had one more meeting internally with the team about all the staking, and we finalized the last spec for the last function that needs to be implemented in the staking contract. And that is the migration to the new staking contract. The staking contract turns out to be fairly complicated. But it also almost is a masterpiece, just because we allow the staking with Cliff, with linear unlock, with the completely like completely flexible formula for how many like rewards should you get for the arbitrary like your stake period, as well as the staking migration delegation. So the delegation is done on the staking contract, and it almost feels like we should create a blog post describing all of it, open source that, and actually push through, because it kind of resembles ideas of Curve V token, but extends that much more ahead. So we expect other platforms to adopt the staking contract as well. And I guess there is a window in our contracts audit service. So we'll be able to audit the staking contract, and it will be fully secure. So it's all great. So most of the updates are for the future, but for the near future.
Awesome. And any timeline on staking? I know a lot of people, at least in the chat, were asking about that. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people expect that as soon as we announce staking, they will all become like super rich. But I guess, so after staking contract, we would actually need to go and build the front end for that. Before the front end, we will have all the cool people to stake directly with Etherscan. So the timeline for the contract and audit would be the beginning of July. The audit is most of that part. And while we're auditing that, we will build the front end probably. So yeah, beginning mid-July is what we're targeting for. Not so soon, but it's one of the most important contracts to be secure in the environment, just because we don't want the staking to go wrong.
All right, thanks, Alex. So up next, we thought it'd be cool to do NFT news updates in these calls, just for like random things. It's hard to keep up in the space. So we thought we'd just give that a shot. Mark, do you want to talk about a few news stories that you've pulled up?
Absolutely. Let me share my screen just really quickly. I'll try to
go for it.
I'll try to make this quick, guys. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Cool. Okay. So the rise of collector DAOs, and Pleaser DAO is definitely the most, I guess, popular of which. Their latest purchase is this NFT that funds the Tor project. It's really cool. Next up would be this NFT marketplace called Ito. They collaborated recently with Marshmallow, an EDM producer. This is their NFT. And what's interesting about this is that it's an NFT and DeFi collab. So Ito, the NFT marketplace, is introducing staking auctions where collectors can stake Aave and tokens to the protocol as an NFT bid. The highest staked bid receives the NFT, and the staked Aave generates continuous rewards that go directly to the artist. I think that is pretty interesting. Next up.
Wait, actually, I have a quick question on that one. So is it a continuous sale? So anybody can stake more Aave and get the NFT, or it's just, is it closed?
That's a good question. I am not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Like the 15,000 Aave for the winner. I actually didn't know that because I saw the sale price and I was going, what the hell? Like someone paid $7 million for this. It didn't make any sense. But staking makes a lot more sense. I'm just wondering, can they remove the stake, or can anyone else stake and then own it? Or I'm just curious. If you don't know the answer, that's fine. But I'm just super curious how that works.
Good question. Good question. Yeah. Yeah. Not sure. Not sure about that. But yeah. So next up would be this comic released by Gitcoin. It's called Ethereum for Public Goods. It is a good sort of like, I think this is very useful for non-technical folks to understand the challenges and possible solutions of, human coordination and how Ethereum helps facilitate that. It also offers a brief history of Ethereum as well. I think this is pretty useful. This NFT piece by experimental musician Holly Herndon, was released last week. And what's interesting about this piece is that this is AI generated. The whole piece is AI generated. And where she collaborated with an AI, she actually put just like text prompts and the AI actually generated this image. So it's pretty cool. And then Legacy Media, Associated Press is also getting into the NFT game. This one is their latest release. It is Racing the Flag in Iwo Jima, which is a World War II event. It's pretty cool. I think we would see more of this. Legacy Media jumping in on the NFT train. And then GameStop NFT. We're all familiar with this. So it's pretty cool that they're actually also getting into that NFT game. Ethereum transaction visualizer. I think this is very useful for, again, non-tech people to actually visualize what an Ethereum transaction looks like. I think this is like South Park themed. It's pretty dope. Next up is Manifold Creator. It is a creator-owned NFT minting smart contract and more. What stood out to me was how this adds dynamics, like interesting dynamics onto like NFTs. One use case is that it enables content event-driven NFTs, such as NFTs that changes colors or layers based on some external event, like the weather or stock price, which I think is a fascinating use case in an added expression to dynamic art. Speaking of dynamic NFTs, this NFT self-destructs if global temperatures rise to 2 degrees Celsius, which I think is also another interesting thing. And I feel like we'll probably see more of that, dynamic NFTs. Eric, how am I on time? Do we still have time?
Yeah, go for it. 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. The rise of crowdfunded NFTs. This is a good example of a newsletter that crowdfunded itself using an NFT platform called Mirror, where backers could actually pull their money and get this project funded. And then I guess last but not the least would be this piece from NFT Cuba Art. I believe that one of our DAO members, Gianni, is led this initiative. And it's pretty cool. Not only is the art cool, but it's also for a good cause. It offers some sort of a mint fund for other emerging NFT Cuban artists. So yeah, that's it for me for today.
Really cool. I really enjoyed that, and actually learned a couple of things because I didn't know some of those things. So very nice addition to our weekly calls, I think.
That was really.
Yeah, I will link all of these on our Discords so that you guys can check it out for yourself.
Yeah.
Can we put that into the weekly newsletter after the DAO?
Alex really liked that. Yeah, we'll totally do that for sure. Great stuff. Yeah. Thanks, Mark, for curating that. So up next, I guess if anyone has any other topics or business they want to bring up, now would be the time. We don't have much time, but maybe one or two questions or topics.
Eric, maybe I wanted to just mention, we wanted to do some sessions, some workshops around the vision, mission of the Rarible DAO. I might just drop in the link into the description so that I can capture some emails. So if anyone is down to sign up, I think some of you probably already have, but I'll drop a forms in the chat, and it would be great if you joined.
Great, thanks.
It'll probably be a few sessions, a few exercises, kind of a collaborative exercise like we did two sessions ago, with the Miro board, but a bit more in depth, and we'll capture stuff afterwards.
Okay, very cool. All right, so now we're going to do breakout rooms, which are always fun and a good way for us to get to know each other. We have 15 minutes. So the topic of the breakout rooms is what can we do what steps can we take to grow the DAO ecosystem? And growing the ecosystem in terms of number of contributors, number of apps building on top of it. But we're really looking for like ideation and for the groups to kind of think about, ways we can grow the DAO ecosystem in terms of contributors. And yeah, so we're going to break out and then we're going to reconvene here, take like 10 minutes to discuss the topic. And then we're going to come back and, one person from each group is going to summarize what you guys talked about. Yeah. So let's do that. I'll break it out and I'll try to reorganize a few people if I see there's too many with the same skills in the same group. So okay, good luck. See you soon. Yeah, good call.
I can start.
So we destroyed the Zoom meeting, but we're back and we're going to summarize the call and the conversations we had.
Yeah, I mean, I can start. So on my call, I had Josh, who is a VC and educator. I have Luis, who is a dev for Mintgate, and I have Penguin, who's working on DAO House. So I think a big chunk of the conversation was centered around like education, like how do we bridge the gap between people who are, still, going down the rabbit hole of crypto and NFTs, and how do we, onboard them into the ecosystem. So, that was sort of like everyone agreed on that. Luis, took it from a much more tech perspective. He brought up the, tokenomics, how do we focus on the token? What incentive it brings? What does it provide to the ecosystem as a whole? To him, the success of the DAO is tied to token success. And so that means that, staking, sinks, burning, and also educating about what the tokens do is interesting. Yeah, Luis is there. So Luis, I was just giving a summary of like what we talked about. And then Penguin, brought up, like his experience with all of these like ecosystems from DeFi to DAOs to NFTs. He says, that, coordination and communication is important. Also tapping the right people, doing it the right way, focusing on high impact people, incentivizing them, and he thinks that, people who go on our governance calls are high impact people that we should all support. So yeah, so that's what we talked about.
Awesome. Next team.
Yeah, I can go. So I was with Alex, Owen, and Natalie. And so a lot of the stuff you just mentioned, I think we also discussed, around educating people, also, for example, artists, around the value of a DAO, for example, and how to get involved. We spoke about brand outreach and also making visible, all of the great stuff that's happening in the ecosystem right now. So there were some thoughts around, having maybe sort of a mural board or a visual board with all of the different things that are going on. And yeah, those are kind of the key points. Yeah.
Very cool.
And I think does that leave us left?
Yeah, go for it, Zach.
It was Ethan, myself, Rolf, and
Eric.
Eric.
Rarible team.
Rarible team. So yeah, we touched on a lot of those same things where a lot of it comes through recognition, right? And how do you create that recognition and brand awareness? So some of the things that we covered, we were aligned with the whole education thing in almost two parts of it, right? Educating people about crypto, about NFTs, about DAOs, just the whole space in general, and kind of be the bridge for the newcomers into the space, if that's possible. And then also, you know, from a traditional education standpoint, and maybe some potential partnerships with art programs or even some of the creators, to have them, because they have big followings. Maybe there's a partnership that could take place there to have them, you know, create some of that awareness about the DAO. So those are some of our key talking points there.
Great.
I can talk to our team.
Oh yeah, let's go for it.
I was with Isaac and Jayshawn and I don't remember his name, but the Modern Mango on Twitter, he was the one who couldn't talk. But yeah, we spoke about, I mean, we were kind of just starting to get into it when it shut down, but we spoke about like kind of our individual projects, and they were all kind of centered around like DAO stuff. And Jayshawn was talking about the event again with that they threw with Picnic. So I think what was starting to fester from that conversation was just some sort of like event or a way to show off art that is on Rarible, that is related to the DAO. I know there's been kind of conversation in the last in the last meeting about like minting pieces from the DAO that are related to the DAO or educate on the DAO. You can kind of throw some sort of gallery event that both ties in DAO education, Rarible art, and, you know, some of the projects that are working on this, like a Picnic and others.
Totally. All right, thanks a lot, guys. We're over time, so we'll just end it. But thanks, everyone. Sorry for destroying the Zoom call when you're in mid-conversation, but really appreciate you guys came back and we could finish this up. So thanks, everyone. See you next week.
Peace,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.